Okay, boomer friend. Today I want to particularly address those of you who have had a life where you have been bothered by addictions, compulsions, anxieties, fears, being highly reactive to other people, the kind of things that have just been a real bugaboo in your life, and let you know that there is a chance for you to be free of these things in older adulthood. I want to address why this information is important for you to know. I want to talk to you about the amygdala. 10 ways, that's right, 10 ways you benefit as your brain in its amygdala begins to slow down. Many older adults don't know about this opening, this opportunity. There's an analogy for that. It appears that in elephants, for example, if they're chained up for decades and staked down like they were in circuses, if they were to suddenly, the stake would come out and the elephant would technically be free, he wouldn't move. He'd stay in the very same spot. Sometimes older adult brain is like that. You don't know you're free, and so you act out of habit, staying in the same stuck place you've been for decades. Amygdala is part of the limbic system, which produces and regulates human emotional responses. It's the amygdala, because there's two of them, one on each side of your brain. They generate some of our most intense emotions. They control the way we react to situations and stimuli or events that trigger emotions, especially when we see something that is dangerous or threatening or produces a craving or a fear. It's emotion and then action center, quickly interpreting sensory information as a threat or an opportunity, even before we have a chance to process it or interpret it with our neocortex, or higher ordered thinking. There's a real imbalance in younger life between the limbic system and our cortex, our thinking part. There's many more nerve fibers from the limbic system up to the cortex than from the cortex back down to the limbic system. This is often analogized to the power of a fire hose versus the power of a drinking straw. If neural activity were water, the limbic system has a fire hose connected to the cortex, and there's only a straw from the cortex to the limbic system. There's a real evolutionary function for this imbalance, because those ancestors of ours who could react quickly and unthinkingly to perceived threats, they're the ones that survived and passed down their DNA. But it meant often that emotions could overwhelm and overrule our thinking. Obviously of great advantage to our ancient ancestors, but does not serve modern humans well at all. Having an amygdala and a cortex imbalance pulls us between what we know is right and what we want to do. It's the angel and the devil that's on our shoulder when we're younger. One side is wanting you to give in to the compulsions and the fears and the cravings, and the other side says, no, don't do that. It's not good for you. It's not good for your life. And that fight may have been going on for some of you from junior high or even grade school. Now you have a genuine shot of being free. Here's 10 advantages when the aging rebalances itself between the amygdala and the cortex. 1, we think before we act. 2, there's less compulsivity and knee-jerk reactions to situations. 3 is greater emotional control. 4 is the ability to modulate our behavior appropriately. 5 is getting less upset over minor things. You've been telling yourself for years, decades, don't sweat the small stuff. Well, in your 70s, 80s, and 90s, it's easier to make that a reality. Number 6, it's easier then to put things in perspective, to stay cool. And you know us baby boomers, we like cool. 7, there's something called a greater internal locus of control. That means you're deciding your life. You're deciding what you do, what you think, and what you feel, as opposed to just being reactive to what others might think about you or want from you, or any kind of external locus of control. Higher self influences emotions and behaviors. Many people in older adulthood may have spent decades in a 12-step program devoted to letting their higher power rule their life. Suddenly, in older adulthood, that becomes an easier to achieve goal. When I was working as a psychotherapist with elderly people, it was not uncommon for someone to come in their 70s very proud of the fact that they had finally gotten it right and they'd overcome an alcoholic problem or even addiction to crack in a couple of instances. We certainly gave them much support and praise for that. But also in my mind, it was like, okay, their amygdala finally slowed down. Abnormal psychology books have been reporting spontaneous remission from alcoholism is fairly common beginning in age 65. Number 9, successfully able to deal with psychological issues such as anger, social anxiety, feelings of inferiority, low self-esteem, in addition to the compulsions and addictions. Number 10, in older adulthood, there's much potential for a growth in higher order functions such as reflection, planning, and decision-making. I hope you'll consider leaving a comment, and if you're comfortable, share a part of your story of what you have overcome in older adult life. Things that you say may be of inspiration and encouragement to other older adults. Thank you for watching, and consider checking out my other videos on my OKBoomerfriend channel with insights to assist you in making aging and retirement one of the best times of your life.